Well, in reviewing the game film of the last game, it was we got off to a little bit of a slow start, in the game. Just didn't seem to have the energy, especially offensively, to pay attention to detail and get the kind of execution we needed against a very good defensive team that really did everything they could to shut off the inside run. And we made some adjustments at halftime and played a lot better in the second half and made some big explosive plays that, made a big difference in the game. Defensively, we did a good job of affecting the quarterback and played well in the red zone, and that was probably the difference in the game. Probably didn't tackle as well in space as we'd like to and gave up a few big plays that we probably shouldn't have, and those are things that we definitely need to work on and try to fix. Special teams, other than getting a little pressure off the wing and being a little slow on the field goal that got partially blocked, really did a nice job in the game, and it was an asset for us to be able to score, on special teams, and really controlled field position pretty well, and it was helpful to us. It's great to have SEC Players of the Week, Derrick Henry on offense, Jonathan Allen on defense, and I really think Jonathan Allen got it for, what he did to me. He got a lot of votes for that. Our Players of the Week were Derrick, Cam, and Ardarius Stewart, and defensively Reuben Foster, Jonathan Allen, and Ryan Anderson, and Cyrus Jones, Adam Griffith, Kenyon Drake, and Bradley Sylvie on special teams. From an injury standpoint, Kenyon is surgery went good, and he'll probably be a couple weeks, and then it'll be how functional can he be at his position with what he has. And Minka's day to day, but probably it's a little stretched to think he's going to be able to practice enough this week to be able to play in this game. It's senior day. It's last game for a lot of our seniors who have had a great career here and contributed and had a lot of success. And I certainly hope that our fans show the kind of appreciation that we all should have for what these guys have, what their sort of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears has contributed to the program, over the last 4 or 5 years. And a lot of good people, a lot of very successful guys, guys that are going to be successful in life, and they've been great ambassadors for the University of Alabama and this program, and we're just very thankful to them for what they've contributed. The game this week, Charleston Southern is 9-1, one of the probably best teams in their FCS division. They're ranked in the top 10 in almost every category. One of the top defenses, in that league, as well as very productive offensively with a different style of offense than what we played against. A lot of option, split back kind of options that we have not played against, and their quarterback Austin Brown does a really good job. He's a very athletic guy that can run as well as is a good passer. So this is going to be a challenging game for us from a preparation standpoint. Their defense has created a lot of negative plays, very quick. They play a 3-4, and they do a good job with their pressure package to create negative plays. So this is a good team that we're playing, and hopefully our players will have the kind of respect they need to go out and play good, positive, winning football against them.
We'll start over here there.
Nick, a couple of the players have said it was always kind of the off-the-field maturity stuff that kept Tim Williams from reaching his potential. What change have you seen him in this year that's allowed him to be so productive?
Well, I just, I think that, he's always had good pass rush ability. It's always been a question of dependability in terms of, is he going to do the right things on and off the field so that you could know that he's going to be responsible enough to make the kind of choices and decisions that you need him to make so he can play winning football on the field. And, Tim's worked very hard, made a lot of sacrifices to try to get where he is right now, and we certainly appreciate it. A lot of people in our organization have tried to help him, and he's been very, very productive. It has nothing to do with ability. He's not pass rushing any better than he did before. He's just more dependable doing his job. And, we've been able to count on him, to this point. So I'd say that's the biggest difference.
Left side of Matt.
Just in terms of Jonathan Allen, what do you feel like his strengths are as a pass rusher, and how much have you seen him grow as a pass rusher?
Well, the first thing is knocking the hell out of the coach. But, Jonathan was, a really good high school on-the-edge pass rush guy. Very, very good. And I think he has gotten bigger and developed a lot of strength to where now he can rush off the edge, but he's a really, really effective inside rusher because he's gotten bigger and stronger. So certainly can play the run a lot better, but he's still athletic and he can still move. So I think that's the biggest difference. He's just gotten, each year he's been here, he's gotten a little bigger and a little stronger. He's always been very athletic and had great first step quickness. Does a great job of using his hands and moving his feet, which is really critical in being a good pass rusher. So, he just got enough. He's got enough pop now to turn speed to power on people, as well as enough quickness to get by him. So that usually is the combination that makes a really good pass rusher.
Back in front of Mark.
With Mika going down, what did you see from Tony Brown when he came in at that position, and also how has he improved throughout the season?
Well, I think both guys did a good job when they went in there. He and Mo, Maurice Smith have kind of, gone back and forth as to who the next guy that plays, in the game before. Mo went in the game, and we have a lot of confidence in him. But Tony had a better week in practice, and, they were in empty a lot, and he did a good job in the game. He got his hands on a couple balls, could have had an interception. He did a good job. So we're going to need, we'll end up playing, not nickel all the time in this game because of the formations and so forth that they do. But we'll see how he and Mo compete this week in practice and decide which one plays in the game.
Front right with Kid.
I'm sure we'll talk to some senior players this week, and invariably they always say how fast it goes. All of a sudden, here's their last home game. How fast does it go for you? That all of a sudden Reggie Ragland's last game and Ryan Kelly and that kind of thing.
Well, I gave a little speech about time on my radio show the other day, but you can't buy it, you can't stop it, you can't bottle it. You just got to do the best you can with it, I guess, and try to make every day count. But I look at some of the guys that are seniors on our team, and I'm saying, man, I just went in that guy's house, seems like 2 weeks ago. And the guy's now graduated, played for 4 years, and, is ready to graduate and move on and maybe have a career at the next level. So it goes by fast for me, too. I have a tremendous amount of respect for this group of guys, especially. They've had a lot of success here, and probably in a little different circumstance than some of the other teams. The expectation has always been greater for them, and they haven't always been able to finish like we wanted to, but they've shown a lot of resilience and leadership this year to have a chance to create an opportunity for themselves to be able to maybe finish this year.
The middle, John.
You guys have had a number of explosive plays, offense, defense, special teams this year. How much of an impact has that made on maybe changing the tone or setting the tone in some close games?
Well, I think in close games it's always, turnovers and explosive plays, usually have a huge impact, and I don't think it's been any different, in this game, this year, but especially in this last game, because, we didn't have the kind of consistent long drives to score points. I think one drive produced a field goal, and everything else was an explosive play. So where they had the ball and they drove it and didn't score. So it's always important to be able to make big plays. It changes field position, and usually ends up hard to score if you don't make some big plays somewhere along the way. So It was good that we made some. We'd like to see us make more. I think there's more out there for us to make if we would execute with a little better consistency.
Cecil.
Coach, thank you for sending us your statement on Coach Pinkles' retirement, but you had a chance to talk with him this weekend?
You know, I really haven't. It's on my list of things to do. You know, Sunday and Monday are my most hectic days. So as the week goes on, I've got it on my list of things to call him, and hopefully things will settle down for him. And I know he's still involved with their season and trying to do all he can do for their players to help them end up with a successful season.
In the middle with Michael.
How involved are you in the process of scheduling some of these non-conference games? And if so, what do you look for? What do you try to find in an opponent?
You know, we don't have a lot of choices. You know, it's not like going to a restaurant and getting a menu and say, okay, we can play these 24 different teams. Which one do you want to play? You know, most of the time we're bargaining and begging to get anybody to play us. And so we don't always have a lot of choice. And especially lately, where, you know, since we went to 14 teams in the league, you know, it sort of put the SEC schedule back a little bit in terms of when we got it, so we knew when to fill in. So those things have been challenges for us in scheduling. And, you know, we're going to continue to do the best we can to try to get the best opponents, but we always don't have a lot of choice.
In the front with Dwayne.
Yeah, Coach, speaking 2011, you guys played Georgia Southern. Obviously, they were an option team. How similar is Charleston Southern to Georgia Southern in terms of how they run the option?
You know, there are some similarities. You know, it's not totally the same, but it's still option football. You know, Georgia Southern basically ran more Georgia Tech style, you know, offense. This team is a little bit more, which is more like three-back, which they have some of, but they do it mostly with two backs in the backfield and multiple formations, which create adjustment issues to be able to stay sound on the option. But there are some similarities in the plays that they run and the way they run the plays.
In the front with Alex.
Obviously, Saturday was kind of a unique game, but have you been surprised by the defensive fronts, you know, just sheer attacking, pass rush? Has anything about what they've done this year surprised you?
No, I thought that was going to be the strength of our team. You know, sort of gone in, and, you know, every one of those guys has gotten better, which I think, you know, is a tribute to their work ethic, but also, you know, Coach Bo Davis has done a nice job with them. You know, the guys, some of them got lighter and are quicker. And some other guys have developed and been able to play, you know, more significant roles. And I think the diversity, you know, that we have in players is very helpful. And the fact that we have really good depth, you know, is really a luxury to be able to roll in as many players as we roll in and, you know, not really lose a lot, especially in these teams that, you know, we played 87 plays in the last game. And, you know, if we couldn't roll guys in, it would be tough to finish at the end of the game, especially when they're passing the ball just about every down. So I'm pleased with the way the guys have played, and they've played pretty well against whatever we faced. You know, whether it was a running team like LSU or Arkansas, or, you know, passing teams like A&M, and, you know, what we saw last week.
Back to Joe.
Coach, kind of along that same line, just in terms of the sheer number of sacks this season, how much do you think the emergence of the secondary has played a role in that? Maybe just buying the line an extra half second to get to the quarterback?
Well, I think it's a combination of things, though. I think we're making the ball come out quicker. I think that's probably has something to do with the interceptions. You know, we do a chart not only on sacks, but quarterback pressures, as well as batted balls. And those two things have been, very good in terms of what the defensive line has been able to do as well. So they've been able to consistently make the quarterback uncomfortable and affect the way the guys played. And I think that helps in the secondary when the quarterback's not feeling like I can get in a rhythm, I got time, I can stand back here, wait for guys to come open, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that has been very helpful to the coverage, but I also think we've had pretty good coverage at times where the guy just can't get the ball out quick, and that's probably helped some of the pressures as well.
Last two with Matt and Mark.
So, Nick, you've talked before just about different things that you've incorporated in practice as far as like turnovers and stuff in terms of creating more turnovers and protecting against turnovers on offense. Is there anything different that you've done in terms of creating the pass rush that you guys have developed this year? Is there anything different that you guys did leading up to this season?
Not really. Not really. I mean, it's about the players. They've all gotten better. They got a better understanding of it. We got a lot of experienced guys playing up front. And, the one thing that I notice on our team is the older, more experienced guys improve, sustain performance better, as well as learn from the mistakes that they make, which allows them to improve. And the younger guys on the team have a harder time sustaining. They have a harder time when things don't go well for them. It's frustrating to them. So that's a very mature group. Deron Payne is the only real young guy that's, playing a significant role. And there's some really good leadership in the group. So they've brought him along, and he has played with a lot of maturity for a freshman.
Last one here with Mark.
With Kenyon going out, just how much of a role does that create for Damian and also Bo, and how have you seen those two progress through their freshman year?
Well, both guys are going to have to play a role. There's no question about that. But again, they're young guys, so are they going to step up to the challenge and compete and show the maturity you need to get ready to play a game? I think, and play it well and do it on a consistent basis. That's the challenge for all young guys. We've had a couple do a great job of that. Minka's done a really good job of that. Calvin Ridley's done a good job of that. But sustaining the standard, nobody's entitled, to anything. You got to earn it. And I think those guys are very capable, and we certainly need them to come through for us right now after losing Kenyon, and I think they're both very capable of doing that.
Thanks.
Thank you.